Hey, hi, hello, and welcome to my new wrestling channel. The idea for the first series on this channel is going to be called Worst Segment, where I basically go over the previous night's show to find the worst segment found on it. The idea is to go over the entire show and give my opinions on every single segment. But I hear you saying, I thought you said this was the worst segment. Oh, it is, and when we get to the bad segments, that's when we're gonna let loose and have some fun. I plan on being pretty ruthless and not holding back. I love professional wrestling, but the only thing I love more than it is making fun of it. So without any further ado, let's find the worst segment from the July 18th, 2025 edition of Friday Night SmackDown. Okay, let's dive in. The show opens with a cold open, and we see the new bloodline, this Timu bloodline over here, Solo Sikoa's group of people, the MFTs or whatever, his family tree, his My Family tree, actually. You got Hikuleo back here in the back, Jeff Cobb over here, the short, stout guy over here talking to the cop, and Solo Sikoa over here holding his ribs and being injured because this show opened with a car crash angle. Oh yeah, the My Family Tree's got into a little bit of a car accident, and it looks like they're gonna be blaming somebody that used to run with them. I don't know, maybe Jacob Fatu or something like that. And to be honest, I think this is a really good way to open the show. A nice chaotic cold open with a through line. I love a through line when it comes to storytelling in my television shows. A story beat that happens at the beginning and carries through until the end. Now the next segment over here, I thought I was gonna hate these two together. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. I thought were gonna create the most awkward and insufferable segments in all of wrestling. But to tell you the truth, their chemistry is off the charts. People out there really love Alexa Bliss, and I didn't think that Charlotte Flair was ever going to be cheered ever again in her entire career. And I didn't think that pairing her up with somebody that the people like was gonna be the thing that changes her trajectory out here in the WWE. But you put Charlotte Flair, the Queen of Queens or whatever, she's like the most unlikable television character of all time. But you put her in there with Alexa Bliss, and their funny little like chemistry and dynamic together is actually rubbing off on the fans, and Charlotte Flair, for the first time in like over a decade, is getting cheered. We're hearing "We Want Charlotte" chants because of this dynamic here. And I gotta say, I'm charmed. The whole "we're not friends" thing is working for me. And basically in this backstage segment, Charlotte Flair tells Alexa Bliss that she got them a tag team championship match. And she basically goes, I may be babyface now, but I'm still Charlotte Flair. I can still get championship matches whenever the hell I want. So then Alexa's like, okay, yeah, bet. But Charlotte Flair was about to have a match on this episode of SmackDown and was basically like, Alexa, I need you in my corner. And then Alexa was like, what do I look like, a cheerleader? And then Charlotte was like, yeah, kinda. And then yeah, kinda, they went to the ring and Charlotte had that match. She faced off against one half of the tag team champions, Raquel Rodriguez. So we got Roxy and Raquel Rodriguez here making their way down to the ring. Part of the Judgment Day tag team champions. Then the match happened and the match was all right. It wasn't the greatest. I like to see that Raquel Rodriguez is taking the advice of Kevin Nash from the internet last week to heart. She is starting to work a little bit bigger, starting to sell a little bit less, but Raquel Rodriguez is a little bit awkward in the ring, and this match wasn't really anything to write home about. But so far, it is the worst segment on the show. And then we cut to the backstage, and we got Adam Pearce and a bunch of po-po, bitch-ass police looking for Jacob Fatu, because Jacob Fatu is apparently a person of interest in this hit and run that we got at the beginning of the show. Through line. We love to see it. So the long and short of it is they find Jacob Fatu, and Jacob Fatu is all like, hey, I don't like police, you bitch asses. He eventually goes with them to, I don't know, answer their questions or whatever. Good segment. Jacob Fatu has a ton of personality and charisma, and I can see why the company is about to strap the rocket to him. This dude that you see in the middle of this screen right now is gonna be main eventing WrestleMania within the next couple years. Carmelo and Damian are so awkward in this backstage segment together. I mean, they're both cool and they're both good in the ring, but their cadence, the way that they speak to one another, very awkward. And then they had this matchup or whatever, and it was pretty good. It was just your standard basic television SmackDown match, but it wasn't bad. They're basically using Carmelo and tangentially R-Truth in order to get Damian Priest and Aleister Black in a feud together. It's kind of convoluted in a way, but it's not really turn off the television bad, and everybody involved is pretty cool, so it's watchable. Oh my god, okay, then the Wyatt 6 segment happened. The Wyatt 6 are now apparently the tag team champions, and I am so disappointed with this Wyatt 6 stuff. There should be so much emotional weight in the Wyatt 6 angle. This is a faction that should be dealing with themes of like loss and turmoil and trauma. Like Bo Dallas, the leader of this group, lost his brother, and everybody else in this group meant so much to his brother, Bray Wyatt. And just to see it be treated like spooky angle du jour is a little bit disappointing, not gonna lie. This could be poetic and dark and cinematic, but it's not. It's spooky and goofy. It feels like they've been just shoved into the tag division, which is stacked. The tag team division on SmackDown is amazing, and I really don't think they needed to put in this spooky group of spooksters to make it feel like a real tag division. Now, to continue on with that through line that's going on through this episode, we got the MFTs led by Solo Sikoa walking their way down to the ring, about to cut this promo. And this segment is great. Solo Sikoa is so funny, man. I love this dude. He's got so much personality. He's got so much camera charisma. Where was this version of Solo Sikoa throughout all of history? His role as stoic henchman of the Bloodline just seems so misplaced now that I know that he's this great of a performer. He's unreal. And as he's cutting this promo, Jacob Fatu shows up in the cop car. The cop is all like, yo, you're not a person of interest. You are free to go handle your business. And before Jacob walks away, he makes sure to call the police a bitch-ass police one more time. Storms his way down to the ring. Shit breaks loose. Good segment. Great segment even. Fun segment. But I will be honest, seeing all these guys exclusively work together is gonna get pretty tiresome, pretty boring pretty soon. But for right now, I like this kind of burst of energy that I'm seeing in the MFTs. The police show up, and it turns out that Solo Sikoa actually framed Jacob Fatu from the beginning of the show, and Solo gets arrested, and he looks so funny as he's being arrested doing these cute little kicks or whatever. I can't play any of the footage. It is copyright, and even though this is my first video on this channel, I want the video to stay up, you know? Then the next two segments on this show are great segments. They're both matches. We got Stephanie Vaquer versus Alba Fire. Good match. And then we got this tag team fatal four-way for the #1 contendership for the Wyatt 6's championships, and it's unreal. When I say that the SmackDown tag division is stacked, I absolutely mean it. DIY, Fraxium, the Street Profits, Andrade and Rey Fenix together. It's kind of weird that Rey Fenix is in the tag division, but not necessarily with his brother. But either way, with Andrade, it's an incredible tag team. But we're here to talk about the worst segment on SmackDown last night, and that was the main event segment. That was the contract signing between Cody Rhodes and John Cena. Cody Rhodes comes to the ring here, he's doing his little strut, and there's actually a fair amount of boos for Cody Rhodes. Well, I wouldn't say a fair amount, but there are spatterings of boos throughout the arena, which is interesting to hear. I think they're playing with the ingredients for a double turn, or at least they could be. Well, Cody comes to the ring, he struts around, he cuts his little babyface fiery promo, it's whatever. Starting to get pretty bored of the Cody Rhodes promo, I'm not gonna lie. John Cena comes to the ring, he's doing the same old, same old. Now this story really jumped the shark at WrestleMania. That WrestleMania moment, that WrestleMania match might have been the worst WrestleMania main event that I've ever seen, okay? And I've seen them all. And ever since that main event, this story has no life in it whatsoever. They're just going through the motions, and it doesn't even really make sense. The Rock came in like around Elimination Chamber long time ago, end of last year, and was like, I want Cody Rhodes to turn heel. Cody Rhodes is like, I'm not turning heel. So that made John Cena just turn heel all of a sudden out of nowhere. And yeah, the moment was great. But ever since that moment, that heel run, this championship heel run, hasn't hit the mark. It's been bad. So during this contract sit down, during this whole like segment here, they do the split screen, which I thought was a really nice little production element. Very tasteful. But John Cena's basically like, I can't make it to SummerSlam. I've been working too hard, Cody. I'm a little bit hurt. I'm emotionally drained, okay? I need to take a moment. So I talked to some execs, I talked to the movie people, I talked to the wrestling people, and we've all agreed that I'm just gonna chill out for SummerSlam. You'll get your rematch, don't worry, you'll get your rematch, just not at SummerSlam. Cody Rhodes is getting pissed off, the audience is getting pissed off, and John Cena's like, hey, don't worry about it. And literally this is like pulling teeth. We all know how this is gonna end. There is going to be the match, obviously. So John Cena thanks Cody Rhodes. He's like, all right, well, that's that. And he starts to leave. Cody Rhodes is like, nuh-uh, pal. Starts to beat him up a little bit. Now this story beat I liked because Cody Rhodes held restraint with hitting John Cena with this title belt in the past, but he held no such reservations last night. Clocked him. But this is where it gets so stupid. Cody Rhodes goes to the top rope with the contract in hand. John Cena is spread out on a table. Cody Rhodes dives onto John Cena. They go through the table. Then, if the story couldn't get any more nonsensical, if the story couldn't suck any worse than it already does, Cody Rhodes puts a pen in an unconscious John Cena's hand and makes John Cena sign the contract. That's forgery. There is no way that that's a legally binding contract. That was signed under duress, was it not? But that's not going to be a part of the story. No. As a part of the story, this is wrestling. John Cena signed that contract because the pen was in his hand, even though Cody Rhodes was the one that signed it for John Cena. I hate this story. I cannot wait for it to be over. It is actively sucking the life out of the WWE programming right now. I just need John Cena to turn babyface. I just need John Cena to end his career. I just need Cody Rhodes to turn heel. Because where I'm sitting right now, any show that Cody Rhodes and John Cena are on are probably gonna have the worst segment. Okay, and that was the first video on the new wrestling channel. We're still experimenting. I'm not exactly sure about the format of anything, but I wanted to try something new and something a little bit fun over here, so thank you for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, likes and subs. Let's go. Okay, goodbye, see you later, and have a good one.
I'm Mr. King Dice. I'm the gamest in the land. I never play nice. I'm the devil's right-hand man.